Why do some children struggle to learn arithmetic and maths skills? Around 5% of students have specific maths difficulties. That's about the same rate as that for dyslexia, but the underlying causes are still a mystery. Wouldn't it be useful if there were a quick and simple test for this? Well, many have argued that the comparison task here is a good way of indicating early maths difficulties. You're presented with pairs of digits and you just have to say which is larger as quickly as you can. To do this, of course, you need to know that 9 is larger than 8 and so on. So there must be some representation of that knowledge in your long-term memory. It takes a surprisingly long time for children to master this task, even after they've learned how to count out loud completely perfectly. But importantly, performance in tasks like this has led some to argue that maths difficulties are caused by a faulty representation of numbers in children's long-term memory. But there's a problem. Performance in tasks like these is usually measured using either your accuracy or your speed. But that fails to take into account that some people like to go slow and carefully, whereas others like to go really fast and probably will make more mistakes, even when they know the right answer. Anxiety about maths might be a factor in that. So it's really important that we take into account both a person's speed and their accuracy. To do this, in my research, I used 2 computer modelling techniques to explore how knowledge about numbers might develop in young children, and how this might look when you test that knowledge using various tasks and various measurement systems. I found that a child's development varies depending on how their number knowledge and their level of cautiousness changes with time. Different pathways can lead to different test results, so it's really important that we consider where a child is in this journey. Also, my simulations mimicked some of the findings that have been seen in real life. So that provided evidence for one particular theory of how that knowledge is stored in long-term memory, and it depends on our everyday experience with numbers. And they also suggested some as-yet untested predictions that we hope to follow up with further research. So when children struggle to learn maths, remember that it's probably not to do with a faulty representation of basic numbers. Differences in test scores can be caused by a host of different reasons, including anxiety about getting the wrong answer. So it's really important that we choose our tasks and our scoring systems really carefully. Getting a low score might not mean that you're no good at the time.